Well, today is October 10th, 2018, and this is going to be an update on the progress of the food plot. It has been, if my math is right and my dates are correct, I think it's been 26 days since I planted the buck forage oats, which we'll call that, well, we just call that 4 weeks. And I think it was 3 weeks before that I planted the clover. And the oats are up, I'm on the edge of the plot here, so it's very, very shaded here. The oats look like they're up about 5 or 6 inches. Looks like a pretty even coverage across here. The low spots are a little thicker, but it looks like pretty much everything that I seeded is sprouting. So I don't think you know, there was I think I had a little hesitation with the oats. You know, you're supposed to disc them in, but you know, I was just seeding them on bare ground, and it was actually pretty kind of packed bare ground. There was no real, you know, there wasn't any real roughness to it to hold the oats, and I'm pretty happy with the germination that I'm seeing. The clover and stuff, it's doing okay. You can see the clover there, that patch of clover there. I'm gonna say these little sprigs here, well, compared to my hand, I mean, they're probably 4 inches tall, that stuff there. So it's got 2 months of grow time on the clover and about a month on the oats. The oats don't look so thick that they're gonna choke out the clover. And the clover is doing better than it did last time I was over here. Last time I was over here was the day that I planted these oats. So it's been 4 weeks since I've seen this clover, and I'm actually pretty happy with what I'm seeing on the clover. So this plot is, if you haven't seen my previous videos, this plot is brand new. I just knocked down the trees to make this in July. And like I say, it's just now October, and it's very, very shaded. These are some really, really mature trees here. This plot gets a lot of shade through the day. If you get a chance, check out the last video I made where I was planting these oats. It was sunshine that day, and you can really tell how much shade this plot sees through the day. It's shaded most of the day, so I am very, very happy with what I'm seeing on you know, the clover coming up. Not a tremendous amount of weeds. I was a little bit nervous that I was going to be, you know, overrun with weeds, but I'm seeing way more clover and oats than I'm seeing weeds. I'm also seeing just a few deer tracks here and there, so I would not imagine the deer are using this. I would not imagine that they're feeding on this much. The acorns are starting to ripen, and I've seen some deer around home that are really homing in on those acorns. We have a walnut tree in the backyard, and some deer came out on the edge of the yard last week one day, and every time a walnut would fall, you'd see the deer look up. Those deer came probably 70 yards up the hill to investigate the noise of those walnuts coming out of the tree. They just walked around under that walnut tree and just noses to the ground. They were, I think the deer were expecting those where acorns were falling out of the tree. So you know, if you guys are under some oak trees right now that the acorns are coming ripe, you probably got deer all over you. And for that reason, I don't think that they're out here in this plot very much yet. This gets a little more size, another month or so, the acorns will start to thin out just a little bit. The crops are just now coming out of the field. The farmers around here are really getting hot and heavy with their harvest. So, you know, there's plenty for the deer to eat in the woods and fields right now. I'm hoping in another month things will start to be getting a little scarce. Combines do a real good job anymore of harvesting and not wasting. Modern farming practices are not as beneficial to the deer as they used to be. You know, there was always a lot of spillage before, but the harvesters do a pretty good job of not wasting much, so the deer clean up everything out in the fields pretty quick anymore. And I'm hoping November, December, the fields will be clean. The acorns will be hard to come by in November, December. Hopefully the deer will be out here. I've got one camera set up here just out of curiosity to see if anything, you know, was just walking across the plot, moving through. I'm going to check that tonight, and we'll see what that looks like. So that's your update on the food plot, guys. I did not make it over here to hunt the youth season. Things came up, camping trips interfered with that, so we didn't hunt youth season. It's been bow season in Indiana for 10 days now. The kids were in the woods for 2 days before that, so there's a little bit of hunting pressure around, and we'll just see how this food plot shapes up and what the season ends up looking like. So if you guys like this video, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see more updates on this plot as we go along, click that subscribe button. You'll get to see those, as well as the other videos I make working on tractors and trucks and just any old thing around the house. So until the next video, guys, keep on tinkering.